All right. And I know we were chatting a little bit, and you guys, this is the webinar for Maroo, who is a new ABC corporate member. So definitely welcome, Anya. And Anya you are the founder of the Maroo, aren't you? All right.
Yeah. Girl power. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, if you want, I can give you a quick intro, find out a little bit about my background and Maroo. Yeah. And then also I want to note that Samantha with Maroo, which you'll see her, she can be in the comments. So if you guys have questions while I'm talking, you're curious, there she is. She is more than happy to like answer your questions as we're talking too. And she can send links and things like that too, which is, we like to tag team. But yeah, my name is Anya Winnica. I'm one of the co-founders of the industry. Yeah, we met through a wedding planner, go figure, a couple years ago during the pandemic. He had this idea to build payments, and actually he was really inspired by that book now, pay later thing going on during the pandemic with all the Pelotons everyone was buying and stuff. And he was looking for a co-founder because he realized that you can't work in the weddings industry unless you understand it inside and out. And so we were introduced, and my background, I was at the Knot with in the early days alongside the original co-founders for 13 years. And so my job there, I was leading mostly for about a decade, leading the consumer side. So everything on the knot.com and all that good stuff. And then Samantha was on the social media side. So we're old school naughties. But anyway, after doing that for quite some time, I did a lot of B2B work and worked in that capacity, doing more education type of things. We certainly were doing sponsorships and things with other organizations. And then after that, most importantly, I worked one-on-one with a lot of planners and photographers and others, entertainment companies and things in the industry. So I really got this like super duper trooper, as my daughter says, bird's eye view on the weddings industry as a whole. And one of the things, like you all know, because you're planners, is that the money is like this big elephant in the room, and there's super full friction on all sides of the equation. You have what small business owners that need the money to be able to pay the rent, repave the parking lot for the venue, all the things that needs to be done. At the same time, you have couples who are shelling out large deposits all at once. And so we're like, we've got to find some solutions and some cool ideas and ways to like actually kind of solve some of these pain points. So all that being said, we launched Maroo. It's a payments, first and foremost, very basically, it's a payments processor. So you can use it to issue invoices to your clients and request credit cards, bank transfers, debit cards. And then we also have a book now, pay later option, which is a little bit more involved, but it allows your clients to pay for their invoices interest-free up to 12 months. And then there's a service fee attached to that one. But Maroo, I mean, the spirit of Maroo was really to modernize all things money for the wedding and events world. Like, it's just, nothing has really been tailored to us. Like, there is Stripe, there's Square, there's PayPal out there, but that none of them totally understand like the ins and outs and like the types of things that we need, which is to be simple, not overcomplicate this whole process. It's really not that complicated. It's that I want to issue an invoice. I have a couple payment milestones and I want to get paid easily. And I want my couples to have a seamless experience as well. And so I think what I might do is show you all what it looks like and kind of give you a sense, and do a demo. And then I'll talk, as questions come up, feel free to like pop them in the comments and Samantha can answer them. But I'll say like the big headline is that Maroo is free to use. It's a free platform. So we thought a lot about the people that were using Venmo and Zelle and stuff because they were trying to avoid processing fees. And we were like, well, that's silly. It should actually be something that's more professional looking, should be structured for the industry, but it should also like work well for couples and feel modern. And so it's a free platform to use. You have to be in the weddings and events industry to use it. We do our homework and make sure that that's the case. And then you can issue invoices to your couples. You can auto schedule the future payments that are due so that we'll auto remind them. And then credit cards are a flat, all cards are a flat 2.9% to process. But in most states, except for Massachusetts and Connecticut, where it is banned, we make it super easy for you to pass that along to them. and it doesn't make you look like the bad guy. It just looks like the cost of doing business with my airline miles or my credit card company. So I'll just show you real quick what it looks like. Oh, I have a lot of tabs open. One sec. You know how that goes, right?
Oh yeah.
I want to show you this one. So when you have an account, it's actually quite simple. You'll have a dashboard of your own. You'll have your photo there, your logo, and your dashboard. There's two areas. There's get paid, which is like request a payment from clients, and then there's pay. So you can actually pay a business or a freelancer on here as well. So if you have 1099s or contractors or people that you pay one-offs to, you can use this system for that as well. Again, if it's just bank to bank ACH transfers, it's free. And all of this, by the way, if you are using QuickBooks Online, you're able to sync it with QuickBooks. So you can make a payment request here and it will show up in your QuickBooks. So QuickBooks will do things like they'll charge you for ACHs and things like that. You can avoid it, but also keep your books clean if you really like QuickBooks. So here's your dashboard. And when you go to make a payment request, you would just go up to this button here, click request payment. If it's a corporate client, you'll toggle this on. Maybe it's like a local company that you're doing a party for. But if it's just, if it's a client, a couple that's getting married, you'll put in their information here. I'll just make up a name. I should start doing celebrities. So you put the client name, you'll put their email. I'm just going to use like a one that goes to my Maroo account. And then you'll put the total invoice amount that it will be due. This is sometimes in moving target. You can go back and edit it. There's no problem there. But let's just say you have a big client, a big budget, whatever, $10,000. Note to the client, you can leave a note to them. And then here's where you can set up your payments. So if today 50% is due, you can put that in there and you just schedule out when the other ones are due. Maybe there's another 25% that's due. And then maybe like right before the wedding, the final payment is due. You can also change all this to like dollar signs. So maybe a flat fee is due instead of a percent. If you toggle this on, that's going to make it so that Maroo sends them some auto reminders when their payments are coming. So you don't have to remind yourself to remind them. So they'll get a payment reminder a month out, a week out, 3 days ahead, and a day ahead. And it's very notification-y. It's not pushy. It just says, heads up, you have a payment coming. And then it says, click here to pay. So maybe they'll pay early, fingers crossed. And then here, file attachments. So we don't have itemized invoicing in here. You're uploading your branded invoice how you like it. You can just attach it here. Again, whole idea was the spirit was like, keep it simple, keep it basic, just process payments and get paid. So there's that. There's a note here about book now, pay later, but I can explain that kind of afterward. I just want to show you the basics because that's more of a product. So you'll hit continue. And then here, this is where you dictate how you want your client to pay you. Debit cards, it says free here, but it's all going to be 2.9 in like a week. So I just want to make sure it's clear to everybody because we pay for processing cards too, just like everyone else. So anyway, you'll put in how you want to be paid. So I would highly recommend putting in the bank transfer because it's free for everybody. But if you want to accept the credit card, you can do that. And you see here, it says paid by client. That's because in my settings, when I set it up in my demo, I said, I want to pass this on to the client. I don't want to be taking on that 2.9%. And then when you hit continue, you're just reviewing it to make sure you like what you see. You can always edit it. If they pay this and then like this goes up, that's okay. You can go back into this invoice in your dashboard, update it, change the amounts, and you're good. It'll just update it and send them the new request. The attachments would be there, the ways that they can pay. And then there's two ways to send an invoice request or payment request. One is that you could click on email payment request. And very simply, Michelle Smithson is going to get this payment request for $5,000 and the other ones are going to be scheduled to go out. The other way you could do it is if you're using HoneyBook or you're using Dubsado or you have another CRM or you have a template, so to speak, that you like, and you don't want Maroo to send the email payment request, you just click on show payment link and it just generates a link. You can copy and paste that link and put it wherever you want. So you can put it into a template, click here to pay. It's totally up to you. Either way, they're going to see the same thing. They're going to see very mobile friendly. It's not an app. They don't have to download it. In fact, they don't have to sign up. They don't have to put in all their information. They don't have to do anything. They just pay for it. So I'll show you like what they see. They'll see this, you know, you're going to requesting a payment of, there's an invoice ID, there's a due date, a note, ways in which they are able to pay. Those attachments would be right there, the PCI compliance. And then when they go to click to pay, again, it's like, there's two ways to go about it. They can sign up and pay, which means they can save their credit card on file. They can opt into auto pay, so that just pays the next payment. But they can also just send it to a parent or do it themselves and pay as a guest. And so here they're going to see like the payment methods that are available to them. So the bank transfer, the credit card, the debit card. And then I'll just show you the credit card so you see what it looks like when they get charged the 2.9. So I'll put in obviously a fake number for my demo. And then they'll go through here, type, you know, basically add in their credit card information, link their account, and they can send you a note, you know, thank you. And then here's what they'll see. So they're going to see that this is the amount that they're paying to you. There's my Visa, and there's the processing fee that's associated with my Delta airline miles. And then here, you know, there's the total amount it's baked in. So you can kind of see it's just like Anya's venue is still just getting $5,000. Visa's getting the other. This block here, if you're familiar with Vow for Girls, they're, you know, nonprofit in our industry. We did a partnership with them. All that to be said, so there's a donation block here. In your settings, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. It's totally up to you. Down the road, we like love the idea of customizing this and letting you put your nonprofit in there, but we'll get there. So anyway, they go to pay, and pretty easy. There's there's confetti, and then there's just a payment confirmation and a receipt that they can download for their records. On your end, you get a notification that they just paid you. And here, you know, down below, it'll say, you know, Michelle's payment is processing, the other one is scheduled. Every payment on Maroo processes to your business bank account in one business day. There's just no waiting around for like the 5, 7, 10, whatever days that, you know, typically occurs. We process everything in a day. So that's another cool benefit. And that's it. That's the simple version of Maroo. The other area, just to show you, is this pay area. So you can, you know, if you have somebody who's come on the event and helps you, like a freelancer, maybe you have a couple that you always turn to, probably, you can make a payment to them. And in fact, you can schedule a payment to go to them at a certain date if you want, and sit down and do all this stuff at the same time. So here, I want to pay a business or freelancer. If they're a Maroo, it's already in Maroo's network, you can find them here, like Anya's DJ company. You just send them the payment that way. And you can add an invoice number if they've given you one. You can pay them however much you owe them. You can set the due date for when the payment is due to them. You can, you know, say which wedding it was for. You can add their invoice to attach it and keep all the records clean. And then you can pay them with a bank transfer for free. You could use a credit card, but that would be weird because you wouldn't really want to pay that. But anyway, that's how that end works. It's very similar to the other, but most action happens in this area. So I'm going to stop there because it's like an intimate enough group, and I just wonder what kinds of questions, and maybe I haven't looked in the chat yet, but like what kinds of questions there might be and stuff.
I don't have any questions other than the fact that you explained that so fast in like under 10 minutes. I'm sold. Because most
good.
You know, when you have to like put in all this stuff, this was so simple. It's basically like Venmo. I mean, but better. You know. You can do and so I love it. And you said it's so to sign up, what do you just go on your site? Or?
You go to Maroo, you'll go here to maroo.us, and you'll click on Get Maroo and you'll sign up. We go through, it's all financial compliance type thing, but we go through and we verify every person that signs up with us to make sure that you're in the wedding industry, that you have a website, that you're a business. And that takes, I mean, it usually takes less than a business day. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes if we're all online and looking hard. But yeah, it's great. You'll have your dashboard and then you'll be able to start requesting payments. Yeah.
And I also wanted to jump in and say, while you were talking, I downloaded it already.
Awesome. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
good.
It's fantastic. It was so simple. And I like how you can put in your own invoice, you know, like you said, you kept it real simple. If you want to add something, great, but if you don't, you just say, hey, pay me. You can send that too. So very awesome idea. Love it.
Yay. That's awesome.
Mhm.
So to actually make sure that there's nobody in the room who's like, how do they make money? Because we do get that question. So I'll tell you how we make money because transparency is really important to us. So, and one is on processing. So we make a little bit of money, not the full 2.9, but we do make some money on credit card processing. And then we also make money on the book now, pay later thing that I didn't show you guys, but that's there's a service fee, a flat service fee that comes off the top of the invoice when we transfer the full amount to the business owner after a couple selects that. And part of that fee is part of our revenue. So just to be, we get the question, people are like, well, I don't get it. What's the catch? So
Yeah.
that's the catch. Those are the ways we make money. And down the line, we're planning to launch some other things like upgraded versions, like people who do want it to be more complicated. Like some people want all of these other bells and whistles, and we're like, listen, we want to keep it simple and easy for everybody and free. But for the ones that want to upgrade and stuff, we'll build that out down the line. So we'll make money if anybody was wondering. We'll be fine.
I love it. It's great. Unfortunately, I have to jump off, but
Okay.
know that I'm signing up and it was fantastic.
Awesome. That's great to
Thank
hear.
you so much. Thanks for
Yeah,
inviting me.
bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I'm
Anya,
glad
we
we can
do
keep
have a
it
couple of questions for you.
Yeah, let's do it. I
Brooke
love questions.
says-
We all love questions.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
log back into my dashboard so you at least get to see that screen.
All right. Brooke asks, what information from other vendors would we need to pay them? And
Yeah.
then on to that, do they have to have a Maroo account also, or?
Mhm. So no, so I'll show you. So making a payment to another business, it looks like this. And if they're not in the system, so for example, we have a lot of different examples here. So we have photographers or planners who are paying other people who are also have their own businesses, but we also have businesses who pay freelancers who don't have their own businesses and they're being paid like sort of an hourly or contract type of thing. So either way, you can enter in their information. So let's say Samantha's flower freelancer business. Yes, flower free. Yes. And then you can enter in Samantha's email. So I would just so really it's their name, their business name or their first name, the email. You don't have to put in an invoice number, but you can. Obviously, you have to put in how much you're going to pay them. You want to put in how much what the due date is. You don't have to put in a file attachment. And then that's it. Like you're sending them, if you're, you want to use your bank, you can do that. Let's do this, for example. I've connected my bank, my test bank. And now when I want the payment to go out of my bank, so I can kind of select that. I'll say I want it to be September 3rd. So that's the deduction date. And then I schedule it and I'm reviewing and confirming here. Obviously there's no processing fee, so we're good to go. So then I schedule the payment and it's been scheduled. Now what happens is that Samantha on her end gets a notification that says Anya is requesting to pay you. If she doesn't have a Maroo Maroo account, she's prompted to create an account, connect her bank, and she gets paid in one business day for free. So if that makes sense, then once she's done it one time, the next time she just accepts the payment and gets paid in a day. So it's that simple. Yeah.
And then another question was, how easy is it to get reports like for accounting?
Yeah, so two things. One is that there you can't see it right now, but there will be a button over here that says export within the next month. So that's one. If you needed something tomorrow, you moved clients onto here and you needed your reporting, our customer service support is lit all day long and we pull custom reports for anybody who asks. So if you need any information, we have we have big companies using us as well as small ones. So we do have like accounting teams that reach out to us and ask us for reporting, and we're happy to provide anything that they need for records. Yeah.
Great, great. And Glenda asked, how does it integrate with like HoneyBook or?
Yep. So none of the CRMs directly integrate with Maroo. And I mean, I can give you the long short story. Basically, CRMs make money on processing. So they, like on HoneyBook, for example, I believe you pay 1% or something on ACH, you pay more on credit cards, those types of things. So they're not really in the business of like connecting to other payment platforms that like don't do that. But the reason I showed you the workaround, so here, when you're setting up your payment request to a client, I'll do it real fast here. When you're setting this up for them, you can basically, let me just like quickly go through here. Once you get here, you don't have to use Maroo to like push the payment request. You can click on show payment link and then copy and paste this into your template in Dubsado or HoneyBook. And that's what a lot of folks are doing. Now, there are some techie people out there in the world that are using Zapier to actually talk to Tave and talk to these systems, but it does, I would say it requires quite a bit of work to set up the Zapier integration. But if I'm speaking your language, just let me know and we can talk about it.
Awesome. And Michelle Riddick said she just signed up.
Awesome. That's so good to hear. Yeah, no, I mean, so like I said, we're really active on customer support, and that goes for your clients too. We don't get very many, frankly, I'm not to brag, we don't get a lot of couples calling us or asking us questions because it's pretty straightforward for them. But oftentimes we have, customizable questions like, hey, can I do this? What about this? Is this a feature you guys have? If you guys have any of that, like we're very receptive to those types of things. And that's what that chat is all about. So
Great. And for that payment piece, if they want to finance, is that something?
Yeah. Why don't I can give you guys, if there's any other, why don't I show you kind of how that one works? Because it's separate. So Maroo financing, we'll call it that because that's what it is it gives you the ability to offer a client the option to split up their payments and pay them back over time, up to 12 months in monthly, equal installments and interest free. So it's a sales conversion tool, certainly because you're being able to offer this to couples who would normally have to pay giant chunky deposits all at once. At the same time, there's a service fee attached to it to do it. And it's a flat fee. And so what happens is basically if you issue your couple a book now, pay later invoice, let's say it's $10,000, they're going to get the option, they're going to get an invoice request that says, would you like to pay $10,000 over 12 months, which is really, I think, like $833 a month. When they click to sign up, they have to go through quite a few steps, to be honest. They go through a soft credit check, then they get a credit limit, which gives them the ability to pay for any book now, pay later invoice up to that amount. They can add a parent, they can add a contributor. If they want it to go up, that's totally cool. But that's basically how it works. And then once they've done that, they'll see their invoice from you waiting for them, from you for them in their dashboard. They click to pay for it. And what they do is they pay for their first month and agree to the terms. When they do that, we kick off a transfer to the business owner for that full invoice amount for the $10,000 goes straight to the business owner, less the service fee. So, and then I'll explain kind of like how people do the service fee and what they do with it. And then the couple is then paying Maroo back every month up to 12 months. They're also being issued a wedding cancellation policy for that transaction that covers it. And it's EWED, if you guys are familiar. And it's just covering things like accidents, job loss, military deployment, extreme weather. It's of course not covering things like COVID and drama and things like that, but it does help to sort of set the tone for the transaction too, just say, hey, these things should be covered. For the service fee that comes with it, if you're offering this, there's businesses that take the fee in on their side and they treat it like one more booking, which makes it make sense. Other ones bake it in and actually include a financing fee line item in their invoices. Other ones kind of split the difference, but I'm happy to share it with everybody, and we can drop it in the chat too. But the way the flat fees work, it's all based on how long the couple is going to pay it back over. So if you want to offer them the full 12 months to pay it off, then it's a flat 10% fee. So let's just take the example of $10,000. You would be transferred $9,000. So if you wanted to make sure you were not taking a 10% hit, you have to build it into the invoice. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, but that's how that works. And then, but doing it is pretty easy. You know, let's just say Samantha wants to do it. We would put her in here. We would say, okay, she's going to do this $10,000 thing. We would say 100% of it is due because you're actually going to be using Book Now, Pay Later. We would click continue. I would click on this payment method here. Lots of copy. We just want to make sure everyone understands how it works. And then here, you know, I'm selecting, I want to give her 12 months. And then here I'm clicking continue. I'm reviewing it. And then she's going to then see I can now pay $833 per month over 12 months. So it looks pretty similar, but you know, there are some other steps involved because it's financing. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And CJ asks, is there a limit to how many bank accounts you can have in your Maroo account?
No, we've never been asked that. I don't think there's a limit. Like if you have, I wonder how many we're talking. I'm sure you can link at least 3 in there. 5? Okay. Yeah. I think that's probably fine. Let me see. Link 5 bank accounts on businesses. I'm just asking my co-founder real fast. I think so. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to link multiple methods. That said, when you are setting up your account, we will ask for the primary payment method because that's the one or the primary bank where you want us to send the funds. That one would stay the same, or you can switch it in and out, but you'd have to choose which one you want the money to come to. That makes sense. Is it I feel like it sounds to me like the profit first model, having the 5 bank accounts. I love that book. Yeah. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Awesome. And CJ, you can unmute too. If anybody has questions, you guys can unmute and ask.
Yeah.
I think this is like really, really great.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we designed it to be simple and easy and fast. We'll have some other things like those folks who are dipping their toes in itemized invoicing and contracts and want something heavier. We'll have more solutions like that down the road, but Maroo is designed to simplify our lives and take, you know, a lot of the bells and whistles that oftentimes kind of go unused out of the equation and just make it make sense for all of you. So
yeah, that really helps because like for most planners, it's a flat fee, you know, that we ask for. And then if we add maybe another service later, it's an editable piece to it.
Right.
I manage a venue. We're still a flat rate. I don't itemize food. I don't do any of that. So that's like
there's
really
no reason for it. Yeah. That's it.
Where Veronica does flat fees, I'm more specific and I itemize.
Yeah.
And you were stating that the platform is compatible or can be integrated with QuickBooks.
Yes.
I'm with 17 Hats.
Yeah.
Can that same type of integration take place since 17 Hats is based on the QuickBooks format or the QuickBooks platform?
That's a really good question. I don't think it's that easy, but just because the two talk to QuickBooks, but there's no way to get them to talk to each other.
Okay.
The only way to do it if we should talk offline, but the only way to maybe do it is if 17 Hats has what they call two-way sync. which means 17 Hats could ingest what was happening in QuickBooks the other direction. If that makes like
Okay.
right now it's all one way. I think probably 17 Hats is similar to us where it's a one way. So you put something into
Okay.
17 Hats, it shows up on QuickBooks. The question is whether you could get it to talk back to it.
Gotcha.
That would be the
Okay.
key. We want to build that actually. We really want to build that because that would solve a lot of people's problems, I think. Basically we could get around the integration by doing that. But we don't have that perfect two-way thing going on yet. But you still could use it. So if you love your itemized invoicing and you want to use Maroo, you can do kind of the steps that I showed you where you're showing the payment link and syncing it with QuickBooks, that type of thing. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Samantha just dropped a link. We did set up a one with ABC on it, just so we had a good understanding of who had signed up, but we also know that while we were chatting, people were signing up, so that's cool too. All good. We love it. This is what it's all about. Especially planner. I mean, you guys rule the local roosts. You know who's who. You everything kind of circles around you, which is really cool, but also makes your jobs extra complicated. I'm sure.
That's the truth. Yeah, I think this is really great. I like simple.
Yeah.
Uncomplicated helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think couples like it too. I think they appreciate something that's not, oh, like download this, log in here, do these things. Like I said, most of my time in the early days was spent marketing to couples and making sure that they would do all the things with us year over year over year. And that's always been the case. They just want it. They're stressed. This, you're all planners. Like they want as few steps as possible, simple as possible. So payments is really part of the experience now. And especially now, because everybody expects to pay with Apple Pay and all that. So it's really also important, I think, that we all, keep up with making sure our payment methods look modern too.
Yeah. I think that's great. Did anybody else have any more questions for Anya or Samantha?
Yeah, Samantha's been chatting it up in there.
Yeah, she has.
I love it.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Questions?
Well,
You
yeah,
guys sign up, check it out, see if test it out on a client.
Yeah, test it. Yeah, definitely test it out. Let us know if you guys have any questions, feedback, anything really. We want to hear it. We make it. We're designing it for the industry. I mean, it's for us, so we make sure it's right and it works like you need it to, and nothing too complicated. If it ever gets complicated, call me.
Awesome. Well, it was such a pleasure to be on today.
Oh, go ahead, Tiana.
I was just going to say it was such a pleasure to be on today, and I'm excited because I'm new to this industry, and I'm a part of the ABC, the Bridal Consultants group, and I'm definitely going to be renewing my membership really soon. I just got in April, and I'm just like, woo, let's go. So I'm just like, awesome. Okay, any resources that are available, I definitely would love those. And I will definitely be in touch. You ladies have a wonderful night. Please feel free to email me at any time if you have any resources for me. This is my first rodeo, and I'm excited.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So good. Bye.
Bye.
Well, Anya, I have one more quick question for you. So where did the name come from?
Yeah, I wish I had this really cool backstory, but it's pretty simple. Well, that's, I guess, part of the name of the game. Maroo, so M-A-R, Mar, that's a prefix of marriage. And then when you look at our logo, you'll see the two interlocking O's that look like rings. And so, we wanted to make it was like a simple, easy name to remember, but also obviously have some backstory. So that's it. That's made up name.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Nowadays everything is like so long.
I know.
Everything's like 14 words long.
Also, it's good to be unique.
I
wanted to make it up. Didn't want to
Yeah.
rely on something else. That I just got marooed. Oh, will you maroo me? That's what we love to hear. Maroo me. That's what we when we started talking about maroo, we were like, well, everybody will say maroo me. Sounds like marry me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I love
great.
it. Well, good. Yeah. Hey, if you guys have any questions, again, like reach out to us. Sam and I are on the customer chat too all the time. So, and then there's her email. Mine is here. Yep. She beat me to it. That's us. Sam and Anya, and we're you're on it.
Well, great. And Tanisha said she just got marooed.
It's so funny. I love it when it becomes a verb. That's awesome.
Well, great. Well, that was a super quick webinar, but it was like chock full of information. So I really appreciate you taking the time this evening.
Yeah, you got it. Have a great evening. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all have a good Labor Day weekend. And here's to a busy, successful fall.
Yes, that is correct. And I will get this webinar posted on the website. If not tonight, it'll be there first thing in the morning. And I will be sending you another email too.
Very cool. Thank you so much again for having me. And it's really nice to chat with you all.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.